What the hell, man? It's something like 6:15 a.m. and they're having a party downstairs. I don't understand it. What's up, guys? This is the Gospel According to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. And guys, I came here to discuss the season 2 finale of The Mandalorian. This will be episode 8, chapter 16, entitled The Rescue. All right, and right from the beginning, this thing started off like badass. It hit the ground running. There was a brief standoff between Cara Dune, Mando, 2 Imperial soldiers, and the Doctor, who was doing all of those freaky experiments on Grogu. They're trying to find out where Grogu is. Of course, he was taken by the Dark Troopers and is currently being held by Moff Gideon. All right, big shout out to Giancarlo Esposito. This dude has an amazing, sinister presence. All right, he's got a lot of potential. He hasn't quite lived up to his potential yet, but he is so slimy. You know, he's just so slimy. You know, he does a great job in that role. So anyway, they're trying to find out where Grogu is at. So the 2 Imperial soldiers who's holding the Doctor, they decide that they're going to try to make a play to get away. One of them kills the other one, and then he starts talking shit to Cara Dune, and it looks like she shoots off his ear. It was ridiculous, right? Because he's making fun of what he did to Alderaan, and she's not having it. And big shout out to Gina Carano, man. Gina Carano was magnificent in this season, you know, and with all of the online hatred that she gets because she thinks for herself, and she's so funny, and she's so introspective, online and everything, and she seems like someone who's just really fun to hang out with. So, you know, plus what she brings to the role is so authentic because, of course, like I said before, she's the real deal. So it's not like she's some dainty female who's coming in and it's like, I'm gonna beat up the men, and then the men fall out, you know? No, if you see her body slamming somebody, yo, that chick, that's a bad bitch, boy. She is body slamming somebody, all right? So anyway, they go on and they find out where he's at. They hatch this plan to get onto the Star Destroyer where Grogu is. They manage to get themselves in there by pretending that Boba Fett is attacking them. All right, so they're using one of the Imperial shuttles that, you know, they got from those 2 dudes. So they get in there, and the girls. All right, now I'm talking about now. This is Cara Dune. This is Bo-Katan. And her little sidekick, you know, what is her name? It's Casca or something. Casca is another one. Casca is bad. Oh my God. She could get it, and then she could get it several times in one evening. Let me tell you, she could get it again and again and again. Woo! Damn! So look, and also Fennec, you know, Fennec Shan, she's another one. She is so sexy, man. It's like I'm just watching them like, hey, okay, you go on, girls, make your way to that day. So anyway, so they're going through. Now the only problem I had here, right, is that when they're going through the Star Destroyer and they're like facing these stormtroopers, they're just mowing through them. Now I understand they could be good and they could be good at what they do, but the stormtroopers were just about fucking useless, you know, and I don't like that. I don't like the fact that after all, they are stormtroopers. They're supposed to bring about fear, the feeling of fear. They're stormtroopers. Maybe they're just good at slaughtering innocents. I don't know. Maybe they're not good at fighting back. But when you're talking about a rebellion situation, when you deploy stormtroopers, that's got to mean something. They just don't get mowed down that way. Like somebody should have at least got clipped or something. Nothing. They were useless. What do you pay them for? Do they even get paid? Who are they? Who is in charge of training them? Is it Phasma or something? It's no wonder they're useless if it's people like Phasma. It's ridiculous. Are they still using clones at this point, by the way? I don't know. So anyway, they're just mowing down these stormtroopers. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't like that. You know, there's no suspense there at all. They're just going nuts on these stormtroopers, right? Although they look good doing it, but I'm just saying. I mean, there's a part where Fennec, that's her name, right? Fennec. So there's a part where she just goes all Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and she's like, you know, just chopping and, doing roundhouse kicks and shit. And beautiful. You know what I mean? I love it. Well, I want more of that hand-to-hand type thing. Because the blaster thing just gets monotonous. If it's going to be like that, then show me something a little bit more stylized as far as their, combat. So anyway, so they're doing their thing. Meanwhile, Mando, he's getting off the shuttle. I tell you, I'm going to say it, dudes. I like Din Djarin. I like him. I don't feel like he's been, it's easy to say he's overshadowed in his show, but he does have presence as the Mandalorian. He really does. He's the center of the show. The dynamic between him and Grogu is the center of the show. They wouldn't be there if not for the fact that these two, hadn't come together. So it all blossoms from them. So he's trying to make his way to the brig where Grogu is being held, and the Dark Troopers are, on the way to there. Now, it turns out the doctor says that the Dark Troopers will be deployed. However, so he's got to get by there before they're being deployed because they got to charge up. According to the doctor, they're no longer using humans or humanoids or life forms or anything. So it's basically T-3000s. There's a Terminator situation going on in Star Wars, right? So the Dark Troopers have to charge up. And I'm wondering, does this make them more or less dangerous, knowing that all you have to do is unplug the charger? You know what I mean? And yeah, that's the end of the Dark Troopers, right? So anyway, he's going to the brig, and he has to get there, and he realizes, he gets to a point where the Dark Troopers are starting to be deployed. So, but the thing about it is, the Dark Troopers have to, always do everything in formation, you know what I mean? So, they gotta be all fall in, and then it's left, right, left. And the point is that it takes a little bit longer to do that. So he sees them going through their formation, and the door is open. He's like, fucking no. So he goes to close the door. And it almost works, but one of them, they grab the door and they pry it open. And now Mando has to face off with one of the Dark Troopers. The Dark Trooper commenced to kicking ass. It's a good thing that Mando is wearing the Beskar armor. Otherwise, his head would have ended up looking much like it ended up looking in Game of Thrones when he got his head squished. All right. As it is, the Dark Trooper has him up against the wall, and he's just pile driving his head. It's pow, bow, bow, bow. And, fortunately, like I said, the helmet is protecting him. But it's just a matter of time before this thing just ends up just fucking demolishing him. But what it is after he gets thrown around a little bit and, he's getting roughed up and, obviously there's nothing he can do with this thing. Fortunately, he has the Beskar spear. So he just sticks it straight through the jugular vein, right? And it shorts out. So he's able to defeat one of them, but he can't defeat 50 of them, and they're all in there, right? So, like I said, they're pounding on the door, and he's able to get past them while they're... No, actually what it is he... releases the airlock and blows them out into space. So they're gone in, much the same way that Leia Poppins, got thrown out into space. So there's no reason to believe that they won't come back. And of course they do, but that's later. So anyway, he gets up to Moff Gideon and baby Grogu. Moff Gideon is holding baby Grogu at sword point with the dark saber. And he's talking shit, to Mando. He's like, yeah, well, you don't know what you're getting into here. Clearly I have the upper hand and, I got Grogu here or, whatever. But something, listen, I got everything that I want out of him. All I wanted was his blood. We're doing some experiments. You can take him, get the fuck out. So Mando, I don't know, why he's so naive. But he puts down his weapon. He goes to take Grogu. Grogu's all like... So he goes to pick up Grogu, and of course Gideon is like, turn your back on me. And now Mando is fighting Moff Gideon, all right? Once again, the Beskar armor. If not for that armor, Mando probably would have been dead several times over, but as it turns out, because he's got the Beskar armor, he's got the Beskar spear and everything, he's actually able to do battle. It's a pretty decent exchange. Every time Gideon hits the spear, you see it's glowing red in the middle and everything. So it's absorbing the full power of this thing. It's taking it and it's helping Mando, right? So anyway, Mando's able to get the best of Gideon. So he's got Gideon where he wants him and everything. He's got Grogu. The rest of them, they join Mando up on the bridge. All right. Gideon is I don't know who you people think you fucking with. Listen, the Dark Troopers, they're on their way back, and when they get back, your asses are all gonna die. All right, you, all dead except for me and the kid. 3, 2, 1. All right, so now you see the Dark Troopers are coming back because they're not life forms. So putting them out into space doesn't really mean anything. So they got the jet packs or whatever, the rockets on their boots, and they're blasting their way back in, right? So here they come. And while this is happening, Moff Gideon informs Mando that you can't just hand over the dark saber to Bo-Katan, and that's what she's looking for. It's like she wants that dark saber. So now she's like, when she sees that Mando has apprehended Gideon and she sees him coming in and he's holding the dark saber, she's like, what the fuck? I thought I told you I was gonna face him. Didn't I tell you that? Did I not say that I was gonna take him out? What are you doing, Mando? All right, so anyway, Moff Gideon is like, ha ha, you can't have it because according to tradition, you have to win it in battle. Now, I don't know if that means that she has to win it in battle specifically from a Mandalorian. Maybe that's what's going on, because from what I understand, somebody else gave it to her that she didn't have to fight, right? What was it, Sabine or something like that, right? So why now does she have to fight Mando for this? I don't know if this is just a Mando on Mando violence kind of thing, but there it is. So like I said, Moff Gideon finds all of this funny. You don't get the dark saber and you're gonna die. How you like me now? So Mando's like, I don't want this. You can go on and take it. Bo-Katan like, I can't take it, dumbass. I told you. Let me take it from him because we got to do this in battle. So Mando's like, oh, okay. So meanwhile, here come the Dark Troopers. Now they're knocking on the door, and they're gonna come in. So it's just a matter of time. And it's looking bad because they know that once they get in there, it's over. It's just over. There's nothing they can do. But they're also badass. They're like, we're gonna go out fighting anyway. So they're getting themselves prepared. You see them all, striking their little poses and everything. It's pretty exciting, right? And I'm like, I don't know, what's gonna happen here, right? So then one of them is like, we're picking up a reading of incoming craft, right? So they're looking at the monitor. It's an X-wing. It's an X-wing, right? And I'm like, dare I believe, right? I'm like, this. I'm like, and then I'm like, no, all right, that's my initial reaction. No, right? Now keep in mind, my dog is sleeping at my feet, right? So my dog, he's a mischievous pup, and one word he knows is no. So he hears me saying no, and his ear goes up, right? So he's like, what? What did I do? What? I didn't do anything, right? And then, then you see that there's this cloaked figure who gets out of the ship, right? And I'm like, no, it can't be, right? It can't be. No. Now my dog is like, he's like getting scared. He's like, what? I didn't do anything, right? And baby Grogu now, you see he's having a reaction to what's going on. You see he's moving towards the screen and he's like touching the screen. His little ears are perked up and everything. And, he's sensing something. I'm like, it's a Jedi, right? This cloaked figure gets out of the ship, right? And then he's walking fast too, like he got no fear, right? And then a green lightsaber ignites. A green lightsaber. I'm like, no. The dog is like, now the dog is all in my lap. He's like, I swear I didn't do anything, Dad. I swear. And then you see the gloved hand. I'm like, holy shit. They're actually gonna do it. Holy shit, they're gonna do it. No, right? So he starts slicing through the Dark Troopers, you know what I mean? He's going nuts. He's doing force pushes. He's doing all of this shit. It's Luke Skywalker, guys. It's Jedi Master Luke Skywalker in all of his glory, all right? Now, keep in mind, for everybody out there who's just like, well, it all leads to The Last Jedi. Who cares about this? Meh. All right? Yeah, that's like the worst 3-letter word ever in social media history. Meh. Someone's just going to get in the comment section. For all of the passion that you're hearing people express about this, someone just takes great pleasure in getting in the comment section. Meh. Okay, so you weren't impressed, all right? But you got to keep in mind, we saw this man desecrated. in The Last Jedi, The Force Awakens, the whole so-called trash sequel, what I call Nyquil trilogy. All right, and here we are, finally, after years, not just through that whole Nyquil trilogy bullshit, but since Return of the Jedi. How many years ago we've been waiting to see this, right? We've been waiting for this moment, all right, and we're getting it. All right, he was going nuts. He was going crazy. Let me tell you something. That was Anakin's son who came through that hallway. Anakin's son. And he was fucking kicking ass gloriously. Okay? So he's doing his thing. He's going crazy, like I said. And then he ends by taking one of the dark troopers and force crushing him. All right? He crushed him. All right? Ooh. So meanwhile, Baby Yoda is like, so obviously the connection is there. It was Luke who answered the call from the beacon, a couple of episodes ago, which we were all hoping and praying for. But let's face it, nobody really thought that they were actually going to do that. This is Disney Star Wars after all, So he comes up the elevator after he gets through dispatching the Dark Troopers, and he takes out the rest of them who were pounding on the door. It was crazy. All right, so nobody inside knows what's going on. Mando is like, "What the fuck?" And he sees what Roku is going through. So he's like, "Okay, the kid is sensing him. This is something. Open the door." Everybody's like, "Hit the fuck! No, I'm not. We're not doing it. No, you saw what just happened out there? Hell no. We was in trouble enough as it was." So Mando goes and he's like, "All right, yeah, I'll let him in." So he opens up the door and everything, and there he is, Jedi Master Luke. All right, just like looking like he did right after Return of the Jedi. Now, of course, some people are saying this is CGI. Some people are saying it's de-aged. I want to call this out right now because years ago, I did a story called Attack of the Digital Clones. And I said, everyone is talking about what they said and what they predicted. Before The Mandalorian even came on, I predicted that this was going to happen based on the story that I read, okay? So I'm not just going to say I had it out of nowhere. I just covered this story that said that Lucasfilm and Disney said that they have digital clones of every actor from Star Wars ever, and they have their permission to use their likeness. And they were saying that ultimately what's going to happen is they have the capability to go back and do more adventures for Han, Luke, and Leia. And this is where we're moving. I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to do this for Indiana Jones also. Harrison Ford is going to be like 80 before the next Indy movie comes out. If they continue to perfect this technology, they could conceivably do that. They could convincingly do that. Now, they have a ways to go, all right? We all know that it didn't look actually seamless. It didn't look perfect. It could have been better. And for my money, I just would have wanted to see him gesture a little bit more, with what he was saying. Like, they had the look, all right? They had some expression going on that was pretty cool. But, when people talk, they tend to be a little bit more physically expressive. So don't just have him standing there. Even if he's reserved, he would still do a little bit of head movement, and everything. A little bit of nodding with some of the things he's saying and everything. And, if you sync that up with the eye movement, then, yeah, we could do this, So anyway, Luke comes in, and I like the fact that he did not identify himself. Like, they saw him coming in on the X-Wing. They're like, identify yourself. He comes through the door. Mando is like, are you a Jedi? And Luke is just like, dude, what did you just see? What do you think? But he didn't actually give him the, the satisfaction of telling him his name. So anyway, Grogu's reaction was enough for Mando to be like, okay, well, this is who you've been waiting for. You're going to have to go with him. And, Luke was like, well, he wants your permission because, of course, Grogu is very much attached to Mando. So he didn't just want to go running off. So Mando was like, it's okay, And I don't know how many of you noticed also, but Mando and Grogu had their little Luke Vader moment where Grogu is, Mando is holding Grogu and they're looking at each other longingly and everything. And Mando has this moment where it's almost like a Darth Vader parallel where he's like, let me look upon you with my own eyes. Help me take this mask off. So he takes off the helmet and, they're looking in each other's eyes. That shit was very, very touching. Like I said, I do like Mando as a character. I do. And the dynamic between them is the heart of the show. So Grogu is all touching his face and everything. They have this incredible bond. And, it's a father-son thing, and I recognize that, for all the times I have a picture of my son actually touching my face in a similar fashion when he was something like, you know, 2 or 3 years old. So I'm just like, it's getting me in the feels and everything. I could have never said goodbye to him ever, and I never could, So seeing that is just like, oh my God. So anyway, so it's goodbye, and then here comes R2. R2 comes out from the back, and it was just amazing. And there seems to be some type of recognition, between R2 and Baby Yoda. And I'm wondering, guys, I know I'm probably wrong by this, but somebody remind me where R2 was during Order 66, because I'm wondering, that R2, is he the one who saved him? Could it be? Is it possible? Where was he? I have to watch Revenge of the Sith again and refresh my memory and find out. I'm wondering if they have that real connection. So anyway, Luke, R2, and Grogu are like, "Sayonara, suckers!" So they get on the elevator and everything, and they're out. And it's Mark Hamill's voice, by the way. It's Mark Hamill's likeness. It looked great, and I bought it. I mean, we're sci-fi, guys. We're sci-fi, sci-fantasy. We're used to the cheesy effects in Star Trek, and it still became a classic. So we can overlook whatever seems there were in, Luke's appearance. So it worked. So anyway, they're out, right? And I don't know what's going to happen between Mando and Bo-Katan and everything, but they don't get into that. This is the end of this glorious season, and a triumph it was. I applaud everybody who was involved, and I know it wasn't Kathleen Kennedy. So Kathleen Kennedy, Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams, everybody who was involved in that bullshit trilogy, they told you right from the beginning when they started this series, I don't know what the fuck y'all are doing, but this is the way. Okay, so that's the way I take it. Whenever I hear that, it's a slap in the face to them. This is the way. You can have all the talent in the world, but without training, it means nothing. So basically, they kicked y'all asses. And I think that it's on us, the fans, to say when we like something, okay? You did a good job, and I'm going to give you credit for doing a good job. If you fuck up, that's where the fandom comes in, all right? But you have to give credit where credit is due. So I applaud them for this season. There are problems, of course. Like I said, I look to the Star Wars scholars with respect. If they say that there's problems with continuity and problems with the lore, then listen, guys, that's what they're there for. We don't attack our scholars and, those people who are in the know. I give them applause for this season too, because they've been very vocal, and you have to hold Star Wars and Star Wars creators to a high standard, a higher standard than anybody else. So it doesn't stop me from enjoying the ride. But like I said before, I do listen, and hopefully the ones who are creating this, they're listening as well. So anyway, this is going on very long. So let me just say, after the post-credit scene, you do have the Boba Fett scene where he goes to Jabba's palace, which is now being run by Bib Fortuna. He snipes him, he takes him out, execution style actually, and then he sits on the throne, with Fennec, and she's it's a badass little scene, So if you watch it, definitely, you appreciated that end scene if you didn't leave early or turn it off. And I'm just wondering, now that they have the capability to do these digital clones and they're in that time frame, I'm telling you guys, it's possible that we could see a Han Solo Boba Fett thing that happens as well. You never know. They could do that, and that's the thing. This thing is now wide open. So, I give them credit for this, guys. I give them a lot of respect for what they did. Jon Favreau came in and made all the difference in the world. And this is what I'm talking about. You can tell when something is done by a fan. It doesn't have to be perfect. We've all watched fan flicks and things that weren't perfect, but you did appreciate the passion that went into this. All right, and that's where I am with it. That's the way I see it. It's not above criticism, but God damn it, there's a huge difference between this and the Nyquil trilogy. So so there it is, guys. The video is very long, but like I always say, I've seen a lot of you watch fucking 3-hour live streams based upon this, so you can take a 20-minute or so video, right? Maybe, I don't know. So that's my feelings and my thoughts on it, and you guys can get in the comment section, let me know how you felt about it, and you can like, you can share, you can subscribe, and you can catch me on Twitter. That link will be in the description box below. Also, I'm going to leave the video that I did talking about the attack of the digital clones, all right? Because that's something that a lot of people didn't see and a lot of people didn't talk about, and I believe that's part of the future of Star Wars. I think they're going to go there, guys, all right? So like I said, for all the people saying, I predicted this, I predicted that, I did that video years ago talking about this is the direction that they're going to go in. So what do you think? Do you want to see more of this? Do you want to see less of this? Or you're not digging it? Whatever. Sound off. And I will catch you on the next one. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. Rock on.